So, hello and welcome to episode 86 of the Turn 5 podcast and the first in 2023. Almost 2 years since we started doing this. How? I don't know. But here we are.
And we've only lost one member.
Well, I mean, we're down 2 today. So...
And 1.5.
Yeah, there we go. So we've had our Christmas break. So we're just going to catch up with all of the news, basically. All of the news has consisted of me scrolling through F1's Twitter feed and sort of just compiling a list of stuff that I need to address. It started in typical Turn 5 podcast fashion, with all of the news happening the day of the podcast release, therefore the day after we recorded.
Therefore a Tuesday.
Yep. And it started with Mattia Binotto announcing that he was stepping down as team principal of Ferrari. We haven't actually heard anything from him since. So hope you're doing well, Mattia. Comment on the video if you need rescuing. Good to know.
Sorry, keeping you hostage.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Shortly after that, Williams announced that Jost Capitao and the chief financial officer of the Williams team were being sacked. And then after that, Fred Vasseur was announced to be departing from Alfa Romeo, and then half an hour later, he was announced to be signed for Ferrari. And then 2 hours later, Andreas Seidel was announced that he was leaving McLaren and was joining Alfa Romeo as their CEO, not the team principal. And then like 5 minutes later, McLaren announced that Andrea Stella, not Andreas Seidel, Andrea Stella, that's not going to get confusing at all. Andrea Stella is the new McLaren team principal. That was all like 4 hours, I think, start to finish. That was a great bit of fun on Twitter and TikTok that day. Then sort of a couple of days later, Mercedes announced that Mick Schumacher was signed to be their third driver, in news that shocked next to no one because his agent was basically living in the Merc facilities at that point. Then a couple of days after that, F1 announced the teams for their new F1 Academy. That's the all-women lineup. So all of there's 5 teams. Each team has 3 drivers. The lineups will be announced in due course. They haven't actually done any of that yet. But all of the teams race in both F2 and F3 as well. So if you watch either of those, these names will be very familiar to you. But the teams confirmed are ART, Campos, Carlin, MP Motorsport, and Prema. The teams that can probably afford to run another team. I mean, Carlin have a team in the electric scooter championship. So, you know, talking about fingers in pies, that is like, you know, Carlin have everything. Then they did the classic, here are the driver numbers for next season post. So obviously, if the drivers stayed, they've kept their number. Hulk, having made guest appearances, has retained his number 27. Nick de Vries has chosen number 21. Logan Sargent has chosen number 2, which was last used by Stoffel van Dorn. And Oscar Piastri has picked 81.
I want to say that was probably the go-kart number he had.
I want to say that it's because he's so young that looking down at the nose, it reads 18. I'm funny. I'm also old.
That was worse. That was worse than my joke.
Yeah, I don't care. It's late. It's late, and I'm.
It is 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and I drove 5.5 hours today.
Hell.
And then set up all of this, and now hit. I haven't
delayed this by a week. You know.
I haven't. Yeah, but I wanted to put it out. We've already taken 2 weeks off. Then we kind of got drip fed car launch dates. So on the 16th, Aston Martin announced theirs. That will be on the 13th of February. On the 22nd of December, Ferrari announced that these are quite early compared to last year. I feel like we didn't have any before the new year last year. It was sort of like mid-January that we
Yeah.
started getting dates. So I feel like this is quite early.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyway, Ferrari announced theirs on the 22nd of December, and theirs will be on Valentine's Day. Alpha Tauri announced theirs the day after, and theirs will be on the 11th in New York City. Alpine announced theirs on the 4th of January, and theirs will be on the 16th of February. And McLaren announced theirs on the 6th, and theirs will be clashing with Aston Martin on the 13th of February. So with 5 teams down, 5 to go. So we haven't heard anything from Red Bull, Williams, Alfa Romeo, Haas, though Haas have changed their logo to include their new title sponsor, MoneyGram, for those that missed it. I'm sure you probably haven't. If you're here, you probably know everything anyway.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Who else are we missing? Mercedes. Is there one more, or did I just name 5? I'm that tired.
Who did you name?
I said Alfa Romeo, Red Bull,
Mercedes.
Haas.
Haas.
So I'm missing one.
Did you say Alpine?
No, they've announced theirs. Announced Aston Martin, Ferrari, Alpha Tauri, Alpine, McLaren. Then Red Bull, Mercedes, Haas, and Alfa Romeo leaves Williams. I did say Williams. I just forgot to re-say Williams. We're doing so good, guys. It's almost like we've been doing this for like 2 years, and I still haven't bought a green screen. That's something I could add to my wish list. I'm just going to get everyone to like, I'm just going to put everything out there. It's like, you can buy this one. Anyway. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's one of those things. It's something to look forward to. Ferrari kind of make a bit of a spectacle of it. It's like a 3-hour show, and then they show you like 30 seconds of the car, and that's about it. I'm just having a quick Google. Oh no, that was season 4. Okay, it's an expected release date. Drive to Survive is expected to release between the 23rd and the 25th of February.
February.
Pretty standard. That's when preseason testing starts.
Oh. Wasn't
So-
it usually in like March?
That was when preseason testing was. It was
Yeah.
between preseason testing and the first race, but because everything's slightly further forward this year,
Okay.
so it fits in the series calendar, but not in the actual calendar, the month's calendar. I can't remember the name for it. Yeah, cool. And then in shock news, was it today or yes? I think it was today, wasn't it?
Today, yeah.
Fresh off the press, WTF1 have announced that both Matt and Tom are leaving WTF1. They've announced their replacements. That's Kieran, Hannah, Dre, and Charlie, and Jack Nichols, who, if you listen to, I want to say he does like 5 Live commentary and Formula E. If you listen to any of those, you'll recognize his voice. And he's been on WTF1 before. He will be hosting the Internet's Best Reactions series. But Matt's been at WTF1 for 6 years, and Tommy founded it 12 years ago. So yeah, it's a pretty big shake-up, to be honest. I mean, Katie's still going to be there.
Katie is chief editor, I think.
Promotion.
Oh, some sort of. She's still an editor on the website. I can't remember what level of editor she is.
But yeah, no, it's a huge shake-up in terms of just the structure of WTF1.
So quite surprising as well,
Yes.
because again, to like from me, just like that's how I got into like Formula One a bit more, was watching their videos explaining everything. Matt to me is the face of WTF1.
Yeah, no,
Obviously
same.
Tom as well. Like,
Yeah, but Matt's the
everything.
host. Tommy's the founder, and he
Yeah.
appears on the podcast, sure. But Matt is the
Yeah.
host of everything from the podcast to IBR to the WTF 101s.
Yeah,
It's
does
going to
all the
be a
interviews.
huge, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's going to be a massive transitional period, and this will be a big test for the brand to see if it can survive losing its face and its head. I mean, obviously, wish the new guys all the best.
and wish Matt and Tom the best in their new project as well.
Yeah, well, Matt said that he's not leaving Formula One.
No, I've read somewhere, I think they're doing a podcast.
You wouldn't be surprised.
No?
Hey, let's get these new fresh on the block podcast members as guests. Promote the newbies, right?
Yep. Promote their startup podcast.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be. I'm both intrigued, but also quite scared for it.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's going to go down at the start, guaranteed.
It's gonna be
No
like
matter
Top
what.
Gear, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's just how big they can rise up.
Yeah, it's going to be how, like Top Gear, try not to think of it as the old thing, but as like new hosts, new thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, there are so many sort of in jokes and references just between them that it's gonna take a while to build up that kind of rapport between the new people.
Yeah.
See, like we've been going for a long time that we've got our own jokes, and if we just like swapped out two people,
goodbye,
then it would be really weird, wouldn't it? You wouldn't be able to make the jokes about where's the bloopers episode if I wasn't here. I mean, where's Chris is just
where's Alex?
It's just eternal because Chris is never here. Apparently he's studying. It's 10 p.m. Stop studying. do your job. I'm funny. But yeah, I mean, from one podcast to the other, good luck.
Obviously, they're going to do a lot better than us.
I mean, they've got financial backing,
and they have that already certified fan base as well. Like they're quite big.
Each of the new presenters has a fan base already.
Yeah, but they're like again, everyone. I'm guessing a lot of people watched the podcast for WTF1 when it was the three of them. So with Matt and I forgot his name.
Tommy. Wow.
That was poor.
Jeez.
Obviously, with Matt and Tom doing their own thing, a lot of their old fans could be like, we'll just move to do this one, watch this one instead. Because I imagine it's going to be a lot very similar. Obviously, without Katie, I imagine.
Well, I mean, if she's still at WTF1, then there's probably like clauses in contract of like.
I mean, that's how it started, was just them two. So I imagine it's just going to be a lot of the same stuff. So I think the podcast could do quite well.
I'm sure whatever they go on to do, they will be more than fine at it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised in a way that they haven't been scalped by some other organization.
They might have.
Maybe that's it. You know, F1 is a growth market. We've seen that in recent years. And particularly the new onus from Liberty Media has been on younger fans. And, well, I mean, social medias like TikTok have taken off, and there's so much Formula One content on TikTok that, you know, you can't help but think that maybe some brand has scalped them. But who knows? Maybe they're just going to do their own thing and just take it at their own speed, because that's what they want to do. I mean,
got a life.
Tommy's been his own boss, really.
Yeah.
So from experience of, I've known people that have been their own boss and then tried to go back to work. They've not enjoyed it, because then it's not as flexible. They can't just, you know, pick their hours.
That's what happened with my parents.
You see,
they had their own company. They retired, and then mum went back to work for the company I work at 1 day a week, and my dad did it on the maintenance side. Like, was meant to be like 3 days a week, now it looks 5 days a week, and he's getting annoyed because it's not as flexible anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like they're probably going to do their own thing, but they'll be well supported in whatever venture they decide.
Well, they definitely have the profile, don't they? So.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, they've got paddock connections, so, you know, they'll be all right. But yeah, I mean, that's all of the news from the last 3 weeks, literally spanning from the day after we recorded to the day of recording. So that's pretty comprehensive. Yeah, we're back. We'll be doing these sort of weekly news videos for the foreseeable.
Weekly ramble.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a clever name. I'm genius. I'm so smart.
Sure, kid.
Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, so for the next couple of weeks, obviously, it's just going to be what news has come out, and then we'll start to get into the livery reveals, the car reveals. Then it'll be preseason testing and Drive to Survive, so that'll be good. And then pretty much back to racing. I mean, where are we at? So end of February is preseason. It's like, is it 12th or 19th of March is the first race?
19th
sounds right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Race it. Schedule.
Yeah, I'd say 11th or 12th.
Bahrain 2023, March 3rd to 5th. That's earlier than I thought.
Saudi Arabia is the 19th.
That's why we've heard it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's earlier than we thought. So that's good. That's good. We like that. So preseason testing, Drive to Survive, then pretty much straight into it. That's fantastic. That's like a couple of weeks less content we have to kind of desperately scrounge for.
There's one major issue though, is this weekend coming is the start of Formula E. And if Chris is back next weekend,
Chris wasn't here to remind us to watch it.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys,
So
watch
genius.
the Formula E.
Damn it, Nia.
I think I'm wearing my Mercedes Formula E top, so watch it.
That's just Mercedes badge. We can't know.
Yeah. Sap, nice.
That's the magic. It used to have. Oh no, it just had Mercedes Benz on the back that I rubbed off.
Yeah, some of my printing's coming off my McLaren shirts. It's very disappointing. So anyway, welcome back. Welcome to 2023. Welcome to the same old shenanigans from the Turn 5 podcast. We will see you at the same time next week. Until then, goodbye.